My wife said, Lily needs her real dad. We're spending Christmas with my ex. If you don't like it, divorce me. So I took the Japan transfer I'd turned down for years. A week later, she was screaming on my porch, begging me to come back. I never thought a kitchen could feel like a courtroom, but there I was, standing trial for crimes I didn't commit. Marcy slammed another cabinet, the dishes rattling like her accusations. She needs her real father, Tom. Her real father. I kept my voice level. I've been her father for 4 years. You've been a babysitter. She spun around, eyes wild. Rick wants to spend Christmas with Lily. He's finally getting his life together, and she deserves. Rick hasn't called her in 8 months, because I protected her from his instability. But he's clean now, he's got a place, and Lily needs him. Marcy grabbed her phone, scrolled violently. Look, he sent her a birthday message last week. He's trying. I'd seen that message. 3 words, happy b-day kiddo. Sent at 11:13 p.m. Real father of the year material. 4 years ago, I met Marcy at a company barbecue. She was a dental hygienist with a 6-year-old daughter and eyes that made me forget I'd sworn off relationships. Lily was this tiny kid with pigtails and scraped knees who asked me 17 questions about construction cranes before her mom could apologize. I fell for both of them. Lily called me my Tom before bed. I taught her to ride a bike in the park, ran behind her for 3 hours until my lungs burned and she finally stopped wobbling. When she crashed into a bush, she didn't cry. She looked back at me and grinned, leaves in her hair, and said, again. I was there when she lost her first tooth. When she had nightmares. When she got invited to her first sleepover and didn't want to go because she'd miss our Saturday morning pancakes. Rick was a ghost. Birthday cards that arrived late or not at all. Promises to visit that evaporated. Marcy told me he was complicated addiction, anger issues, a string of failed jobs. I never pushed. I just showed up. But the past 6 months, something shifted. Marcy started weaponizing Lily every time we disagreed. Forgot to take out the trash? Maybe Lily should spend the weekend at my mom's. You clearly don't respect this family. Worked late on a project deadline? Lily asked why you don't love her anymore. And now this. If you can't handle me taking my daughter to see her father, Marcy said, voice dropping to ice, then maybe you should sign some papers and make this easy on everyone. There it was. The ultimatum. Divorce threat number. I'd lost count. I looked past her, through the window where Lily's bike leaned against the fence. The training wheels I'd removed last summer were still in the garage. She'd been so proud. Something in me just broke loose, not in anger. In clarity. Okay, I said. Marcy blinked. What? Take her to Rick's for Christmas. Don't patronize me, Tom. I'm not. I pulled out my phone, opened my email. The message had been sitting in my drafts for 2 months, from my boss, offering me a project manager position in Tokyo. Good pay. Housing stipend. A chance to lead a team on infrastructure overhaul that could define my career. I'd been putting it off because of Lily. I hit send. What are you doing? Marcy stepped closer, accepting a job transfer. You want me gone? I'm gone. Her face flickered, confusion, then something like victory. You're bluffing. I'll leave in 11 days. You'll have the house to yourself. Do whatever you want. I walked past her, up the stairs to Lily's room. She was asleep, clutching the stuffed penguin I'd won her at the state fair. On her desk was a crayon drawing, 3 stick figures labeled me, Mommy, and Tom. We were holding hands. There was a sun in the corner. I took the drawing, folded it carefully, and slipped it into my jacket pocket. Downstairs, Marcy was on the phone, probably calling Rick, telling him she'd won. 11 days later, I stood in the airport terminal, boarding pass in hand. My phone buzzed. Marcy had already changed the locks. Another buzz, a photo of Lily, Rick, and Marcy at some Christmas market. Caption New Beginnings. I pulled out the drawing. Lily's crayon version of me smiled up from the paper, holding her hand. The gate agent called my section. I folded the drawing one more time, tucked it into my carry-on, and walked toward the jetway. Tokyo was 14 hours away. Lily felt further. Tokyo swallowed me whole. The corporate apartment was sterile, 1 bedroom, a kitchen the size of a closet, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a city that never stopped moving. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. to sirens and neon, check my phone for messages that never came, then stare at the ceiling until my alarm went off. Work was a blur. Infrastructure meetings, site inspections, contract negotiations in broken English and polite bows. My team respected me. My boss praised my focus. I was crushing it professionally. I was dying inside. I tried calling Lily on January 15th, her 11th birthday. Bought a calling card, did the math on time zones, dialed at what should have been right after school. The number you have reached is no longer in service. I tried Marcy's cell. Straight to a generic voicemail. I left a message anyway. Hey, Lil. It's Tom. Happy birthday, kiddo. I miss you. Call me back when you can. She never did. I sent emails. Short ones at first. How's school? Did you like the birthday gift I sent? Then longer ones, the kind you write at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep and your chest feels like it's caving in. I told her about Tokyo, about the weird vending machines and the cat cafes I thought she'd love. I told her I was sorry for leaving, that I thought about her every day. Every single one bounced back. Address not found. Marcy had deleted her email account. 3 weeks in, I got desperate. Called Marcy's mom, she picked up, heard my voice, and hung up. Tried Marcy's sister. Blocked. I even called the school, pretended I needed to update emergency contact info. The secretary got quiet, then said, I'm sorry, sir, but we can only release information to legal guardians. I wasn't one anymore. February came. I stopped sleeping. Started running at night through neighborhoods where nobody knew me, past families eating dinner through lit windows, past playgrounds empty except for ghosts. Then Donnie reached out. Donnie worked in accounting back home, good guy, loved fantasy football, never got involved in drama. His message was short, dude, saw this on Insta. Thought you should know. He'd forwarded a screenshot. It was Marcy's profile. Public now, apparently. The photo showed her, Rick, and Lily standing in front of some ice sculpture, all bundled up in matching scarves. The caption read, finally complete, red heart emoji. I zoomed in. Rick had his arm around Marcy. Marcy was beaming. And Lily's smile was wrong. It didn't touch her eyes. Her shoulders were hunched, pulled inward like she was trying to disappear. Rick's other hand rested on her shoulder. Her hand wasn't holding his. It was balled into a tight fist, white-knuckled, pressed against her leg. I stared at that photo for 2 hours. Then the envelope arrived. It came via international courier, thick, official, stamped with a law firm's logo I didn't recognize. Inside were divorce papers. Not a request. A filing. The petition made my stomach drop. Petitioner seeks dissolution of marriage on grounds of willful abandonment and desertion. Petitioner requests full legal and physical custody of minor child, division of marital property including primary residence, spousal support, and attorney's fees. There was a letter paper clipped to the front. Marcy's lawyer, some guy named Preston Hughes, had written it himself. Mr. Halverson, your decision to abandon your family and flee the country speaks volumes about your character. My client has been forced to rebuild her life while you prioritize career advancement over the well-being of a child who viewed you as a father figure. This is unconscionable. We expect you to cooperate fully with these proceedings, or we will pursue the maximum remedies available under law. I read it 3 times. Then I threw up. They were painting me as the villain. Marcy was rewriting history, making me the deadbeat who chose Japan over family, who walked away without looking back, and Lily was being fed the same story. I sat on my apartment floor, divorce papers scattered around me, and felt something shift. Not grief. Not even anger. Calculation. I pulled out my laptop, started taking screenshots of everything. Bank statements showing I'd paid the mortgage through January. The work email chain showing my boss had offered me Tokyo before Marcy's ultimatum. The returned birthday gift, signature required, marked refused delivery. I was building a file when someone knocked on my door. The courier handed me a FedEx box, battered and covered in international postage. The return address was handwritten, Mrs. K, 414 Elmwood, Mrs. Kopecki. Our neighbor. The elderly Polish woman who used to sneak Lily cookies and call her Kochani, sweetheart. I tore it open. Inside were printed screenshots of text messages, between Marcy and someone named Jess, timestamped from the past 2 weeks. And a handwritten note on floral stationery. Tom, she's been asking about you. Every day. Marcy told her you didn't want to see her anymore. That you started a new life and forgot about her. I couldn't stay quiet. Thought you should know the truth. Mrs. K. My hands shook as I unfolded the screenshots. The first text was from Marcy. Lily won't stop crying about Tom. I told her he doesn't care, but she won't believe me. The response, just give it time. She'll forget. Marcy's reply, she better. Rick's already getting frustrated. This needs to stop. I read them again. Then a third time, she told Lily I abandoned her. I stopped drinking that night, not because I had a problem, I didn't. But I needed clarity. Every neuron firing, every decision calculated. Marcy wanted to play dirty? Fine. But she'd picked the wrong opponent. I started documenting everything. Bank statements going back 4 years. Every mortgage payment I'd made, all from my account, even after I left. Lily's private school tuition, $18,000 annually, paid in full every August. Her braces, $4,200. Soccer league fees, art supplies, the violin lessons she quit after 2 months. I'd paid for all of it. I pulled up old emails. Found the thread from last June where Marcy threatened to take Lily to her grandmother's for the summer because I'd worked through our anniversary dinner. Another from September. Maybe you should just move out if you're going to act like you don't have a family. Voicemails. I'd saved them out of habit, never thinking I'd need them. Marcy's voice, drunk and vicious after some argument I couldn't even remember. You know what, Tom? You're not her father. You're just the guy who pays the bills. Don't forget that. I sent everything to a cloud drive. Made 3 backups. Mrs. Kopecki emailed again 2 days later. Tom, Marcy's telling the neighbors you abandoned them for a job in Japan. She's put a for sale sign in the yard. Says she needs to start fresh. I don't think she knows you're still on the deed. Mrs. K. I pulled up the county property records. The house was in both our names, had been since we refinanced 3 years ago to pay off her car loan. She couldn't sell without my signature, but she was trying. I found a family law attorney through an expat forum, American lawyer licensed in my home state, specialized in international custody cases. Her name was Joanna Reeves. Sharp voice, no nonsense. I laid it all out on a 2-hour Zoom call. She listened, took notes, then said, "This is parental alienation. Textbook. And the abandonment claim won't hold. You were transferred for work, you attempted contact, you continued financial support. We can fight this. How fast? I can file an emergency motion to freeze marital assets and contest her petition within 48 hours. But Tom." She paused. "You need to be prepared. If she's already poisoning Lily against you, this is going to get ugly. It's already ugly." Fair enough. I'll draft the response. Sit tight. I couldn't sit tight. I kept seeing Lily's face in that photo, the forced smile, the clenched fist. I remembered the day she'd asked me, sitting on the back porch with popsicles melting down our hands, "Tom, will you always be my dad?" I'd laughed, ruffled her hair. "Always, kiddo. Even when you're a grown-up and too cool for me, I'll never be too cool for you." She was 10. Sticky fingers and gap-toothed grin. She'd meant it. I booked a red-eye flight, didn't tell Joanna. Didn't tell work. Just packed a bag, told my boss I had a family emergency, and left my apartment at midnight. 16 hours later, I was back on American soil. I checked into a VFW motel 2 towns over from home, the kind of place that took cash and didn't ask questions. Paid for a week up front, used my middle name on the register. No social media. No check-ins. I became a ghost. For 3 days, I watched. Parked down the block from the house at 7:15 a.m., saw Marcy load Lily into the car for school. Marcy looked tired, hair in a messy ponytail, sweatpants, coffee mug shaking in her hand. Lily climbed into the back seat, backpack dragging. She stared out the window the entire drive. Rick's truck was in the driveway when they left. Still there when they got back. I followed Marcy to the grocery store, the bank, the coffee shop where she met some blonde woman and complained loud enough for me to hear from 3 tables away. He just left. Didn't even fight for us. I took notes. Timestamped everything. Joanna called on day 4. Motion granted. Assets are frozen, and the judge scheduled a hearing. She's required to respond in person. You planning to show up? When? Next Tuesday. 9 a.m. I'll be there. Tuesday morning came fast. I sat in my rental car across from the courthouse, sipping gas station coffee that tasted like battery acid. Watched lawyers in suits climb the steps, watched clerks and bailiffs filter in. Then Rick's truck pulled up. Marcy stepped out, laughing at something Rick said. She was wearing the necklace I'd bought her for our 2nd anniversary, delicate silver chain, tiny diamond pendant. Her hair was done. Makeup perfect. She looked like someone going to brunch, not a custody hearing. Rick kissed her cheek, drove off. Marcy adjusted her purse, straightened her blazer, and walked toward the courthouse entrance. Confident. Smiling. She had no idea I was here. I checked my watch. 8:50 a.m. I finished my coffee, grabbed my folder of evidence, and opened the car door. Time to rewrite the narrative. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Fluorescent lights, worn benches, a judge's bench that had seen 1,000 broken families before ours. Joanna was already there, setting up files at the defendant's table. She saw me, nodded once. I took my seat. The door opened at 8:58. Marcy walked in mid-laugh, still looking at her phone. Her lawyer, Preston Hughes, I assumed, followed with a briefcase and the expression of a man expecting an easy win. Then Marcy looked up. The color drained from her face. "What?" She grabbed Preston's arm. "What is he doing here?" Preston's smile faltered. He leaned in, whispered something. Marcy shook her head violently. But they kept walking to the plaintiff's table. She sat down stiff-backed, wouldn't look at me. Her hand kept touching that necklace. The bailiff called us to order. Judge Patricia Moreno entered, mid-50s, reading glasses on a chain, the kind of face that had stopped believing sob stories a decade ago. Matter of Halverson, she said, flipping through the file. Dissolution of marriage, custody dispute. Mr. Hughes, you filed the petition. Proceed. Preston stood, buttoned his jacket. Your Honor, this is a straightforward case of abandonment. Mr. Halverson accepted a job transfer to Japan and left his wife and stepdaughter without warning or support. Mrs. Halverson has been forced to. Your Honor, Joanna interrupted, standing smoothly. If I may, the word abandonment implies a lot that simply isn't true. We have evidence to the contrary. Judge Moreno waved her hand. Let's see it. Joanna pulled out the first exhibit, a printout of my work emails, highlighted in yellow. Mr. Halverson's transfer was approved by his employer 6 weeks before his departure. He informed Mrs. Halverson, who issued an ultimatum: accept her demands regarding her ex-partner's involvement with the minor child, or leave. He chose the transfer. Preston scoffed. That's not. Exhibit B. Joanna didn't pause. Phone records showing 47 attempted calls to Mrs. Halverson and the minor child between December 20th and February 3rd. All unanswered or blocked. She slid a stack of papers across to the judge. Exhibit C, bank statements showing Mr. Halverson continued paying the mortgage, utilities, and the child's private school tuition from Tokyo. Exhibit D, a birthday gift sent via track shipping, refused delivery and returned. Preston was flipping through his own notes now, looking rattled. Judge Moreno studied the documents. Mrs. Halverson, did you block Mr. Halverson's attempts to contact the child? Marcy stood slowly. I was protecting Lily. He left us, and I didn't want her to. Did you block him, yes or no? Yes. Did you tell the child he abandoned her? Marcy's jaw tightened. I told her the truth. That he chose a job over. Your Honor, Joanna said, we have a witness who can speak to what Mrs. Halverson actually told the child. The door opened. Mrs. Kopecki shuffled in, leaning on a cane. She looked at me, winked, then took the witness stand. Under oath, she didn't sugarcoat it. I heard Marcy tell Lily that Tom didn't love her anymore, Mrs. Kopecki said, voice steady. That he started a new life and forgot about her. The poor girl cried for weeks. I tried to tell her it wasn't true, but Marcy forbade me from speaking to her. Preston tried to object, hearsay, irrelevant, but Judge Moreno shut him down. Then came Ms. Ortega, Lily's 5th grade teacher. Lily was an A student before Christmas, she testified. Engaged, happy. After the holidays, she became withdrawn. Stopped turning in homework. During our Father's Day unit, she asked to go to the nurse. I found her crying in the hallway. I kept my face neutral, but my hands were fists under the table. Joanna presented the bank records next, every payment I'd made, itemized and highlighted. The mortgage Marcy tried to refinance without my consent. The credit card she'd maxed out in January buying furniture for the new house. Preston put Marcy on the stand as a last-ditch effort. Mrs. Halverson, why did you feel it necessary to limit contact between Mr. Halverson and your daughter? She's not his daughter, Marcy said, voice cracking. He's not her real father. Rick is. And I was protecting her from the trauma of being abandoned. Your Honor, Joanna stood. May I? Judge Moreno nodded. Joanna approached with a single sheet of paper. Mrs. Halverson, is this a text message you sent to your sister on December 18th? Marcy's face went pale. I don't. If you don't like it, divorce me. Sent at 6:13 p.m., the day before Mr. Halverson accepted the transfer. Does that refresh your memory? Silence. Judge Moreno removed her glasses. Step down, Mrs. Halverson. Marcy stumbled back to her seat. Preston was scribbling notes, looking like a man drowning. The judge reviewed her papers for what felt like an hour. Finally, temporary order as follows. Marital assets remain frozen pending full hearing. Mrs. Halverson is hereby restrained from making any major decisions regarding the minor child without joint consent. I'm ordering a custody evaluation through the state, expedited timeline. She looked up, directly at me. Mr. Halverson, I'm also ordering the minor child be brought to chambers. You'll have a supervised visitation, here, today. My heart stopped. Bailiff, Judge Moreno said, make the call. They brought her to the family visitation room, one of those spaces designed to feel less institutional with soft chairs and educational posters nobody reads. A court supervisor sat in the corner with a clipboard. I heard footsteps in the hallway. Small, hesitant. The door opened. Lily looked smaller. Thinner. Dark circles under her eyes that no 11-year-old should have. She wore a hoodie I didn't recognize, her hair in a ponytail that was already falling apart. She saw me and stopped breathing. For 3 seconds, we just stared at each other. Then her face crumpled. She ran, not away, to me. I caught her, nearly fell backward from the impact. She wrapped her arms around my neck so tight I couldn't breathe, and I didn't care. She was sobbing into my shoulder, whole body shaking. "You came back," she gasped. "You came back, you came back. I never left you, Lily. I never. Mom said you didn't want me anymore. She said you had a new family and I was," she hiccuped, couldn't finish. I pulled back enough to look at her face. "That's not true. None of it. I tried calling you every day. Do you understand? Every single day. She blocked your number. I saw her do it." Lily wiped her nose on her sleeve. "I asked if I could call you and she said you told her not to give me your number. That you wanted to forget about us." The supervisor shifted in her seat but said nothing. "Lily." I waited until she looked at me. "I sent you a birthday present. Did you get it?" She shook her head. "I sent emails. 23 of them. I don't have email anymore. Mom deleted it." I reached into my jacket pocket and pulled out the folded drawing, creased and worn from being carried across an ocean and back. Her crayon stick figures, the sun in the corner. "I kept this with me every day," I said. "Every single day in Tokyo. Because I never stopped being your dad." Her eyes filled again. She took the drawing with shaking hands, unfolded it carefully like it was made of glass. "I thought you forgot about me." "Never. Not for 1 second. She climbed into my lap like she used to when she was younger, when thunderstorms scared her and I'd read her books until she fell asleep. She was too big for it now, all elbows and knees, but I held her anyway. We talked for 2 hours. She told me about school, how she'd stopped trying because what's the point? About Rick moving in, trying to make her call him dad, getting angry when she refused. About Marcy yelling at her for crying, for asking about me, for not adjusting. "He's not mean," Lily said quietly. "Rick. He's just there. He tries too hard. Makes jokes that aren't funny and gets mad when I don't laugh." "And your mom?" Lily picked at her shoelace. "She's different now. Angry all the time. She and Rick fight a lot. I hear them at night." The supervisor finally spoke up. "We need to wrap up in 10 minutes. Can we go outside?" Lily asked. "Please. Just for a minute?" The supervisor checked her notes, made a call. 5 minutes later, we were cleared for a supervised outing. Ice cream shop 2 blocks away, 1 hour max. We walked out through the courthouse lobby. Marcy was waiting by the doors. "Lily, come here." Her voice was sharp. Lily's hand tightened around mine. "Mrs. Halverson," the supervisor said, "the court has authorized." "She's my daughter, and I have a court order," I said evenly. "We'll be back in an hour." We stepped around her. Marcy grabbed my arm. "You can't just." A truck door slammed in the parking lot. Rick stormed over, face red. "Marcy, what the hell is going on? I just got a call from Preston saying you lied about everything." "Not now, Rick. You told me he abandoned you. That he took off without a word." Rick looked at me, then at Lily. "Jesus Christ, Marcy. The guy's been trying to see his kid this whole time?" "She's not his kid. She sure as hell isn't mine." Rick threw his hands up. "I didn't sign up for this. For you turning me into some weapon against this guy. For lying to everyone, including your own daughter. Rick, please. I'm done." He backed toward his truck. "I'm done with this insanity. Get your own ride home." He drove off. Tires squealing. Marcy stood there, mascara starting to run, hands still reaching toward empty air. I guided Lily past her, toward the ice cream shop. "Tom?" Lily said as we walked. "Yeah? Can I come live with you now?" Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. A text from Joanna. "Preston just requested an emergency meeting. His message, my client wishes to negotiate a settlement. She's reconsidering her position." I looked back. Marcy was sitting on the courthouse steps, alone, staring at her phone. "Let's get that ice cream first," I told Lily. "Then we'll figure everything out." She smiled, a real one this time. "Okay, Dad." She'd never called me that before. The final hearing was 3 weeks later. Preston came in looking like a man who'd aged a decade. Marcy sat beside him, subdued, none of the confidence from before. She'd tried calling me twice after the ice cream incident. I didn't answer. Joanna had laid out Marcy's settlement offer the night before. Joint custody, alternating weeks, no spousal support, split the house proceeds 50-50. "What do you think?" she'd asked. Counter. My offer was simple. Primary physical custody. Marcy gets supervised visitation every other weekend for 6 months pending psychiatric evaluation. She relinquishes her claim to the house and I buy her out at assessed value minus her credit card debt, and she pays my legal fees. Preston had called it unnecessarily punitive. I called it consequences. Judge Moreno entered, and we rose. She had the custody evaluator's report in front of her, 60 pages of interviews, psychological assessments, home visits. "I've reviewed the findings," she said. The evaluator interviewed both parents, the minor child, and several collateral witnesses including teachers and neighbors. She looked at Marcy over her glasses. "Mrs. Halverson, the report indicates a pattern of parental alienation. Deliberately false statements made to the child about Mr. Halverson's intentions, blocking contact, refusing to facilitate communication. The child explicitly stated she wishes to live primarily with Mr. Halverson." Marcy's lawyer started to stand. "Your Honor, my client has acknowledged her mistakes and is willing to." "I'm not finished." Judge Moreno's voice could cut steel. "This court takes parental alienation extremely seriously. It is emotional abuse, full stop. Mrs. Halverson, you damaged your daughter's relationship with a man who stepped up as her father for 4 years. You lied to her, isolated her, and used her as a pawn in your personal grievances." Marcy was crying now, but it felt empty. "Performative. Custody is awarded primarily to Mr. Halverson, effective immediately. Mrs. Halverson will have supervised visitation every other weekend for a minimum of 6 months, at which point we'll revisit. She will also undergo a psychological evaluation and parenting classes." The gavel came down. "Mrs. Halverson will pay Mr. Halverson's legal fees in the amount of..." She checked the filing. $17,400. "And Mr. Halverson, the house is yours, buy out Mrs. Halverson at the agreed upon valuation." Marcy sobbed into her hands. Preston gathered his papers silently. I felt nothing. No triumph, no vindication. Just tired. Joanna shook my hand. "You did good. We did good." Outside, I called the school. Told them I'd be picking Lily up that afternoon. Permanently. 3 months later, we had a routine. Lily was in therapy twice a week. Dr. Walsh said she was processing the trauma well. Kids are resilient, but they need consistency. I gave her that. Every morning, I made breakfast. Every night, we ate dinner together. Homework at the kitchen table, bedtime stories even though she claimed she was too old for them. Marcy showed up for her supervised visits. Sometimes Lily wanted to go, sometimes she didn't. I never forced it. The supervisor said Marcy was trying. Awkward conversations, obvious guilt, attempts to bond that fell flat. Lily was polite. Distant. Rick had ghosted Marcy completely. Deleted all social media, blocked her number. I heard through Mrs. Kopecki that he'd moved 2 states over. One Thursday, Lily came home from school clutching something wrapped in newspaper. "We did woodworking in art class," she said, peeling back the paper. It was a small wooden doll, hand-carved and painted. The figure wore a tiny blue jacket, the same color as my work jacket. Brown hair. Even the face looked a little like me, in that abstract way kids' art does. "It's you," she said, holding it out. "So you're always with me, even when you're at work." I took it carefully, turned it over in my hands. She'd carved her initials on the bottom, LH. "You made this?" "Yep. Mr. Garrett helped with the power tools, but I did all the painting myself." She beamed. "Do you like it?" "I love it, Lil." She hugged me, quick and tight, then ran upstairs to start homework. I stood in the hallway, holding a wooden doll that probably cost 50 cents in materials, and felt something unlock in my chest. Revenge wasn't standing in a courtroom watching Marcy cry. It wasn't the judge's ruling or the house or proving I was right. It was this, Lily running downstairs every morning asking what's for breakfast. It was helping her with fractions while she complained that math is a conspiracy. It was her falling asleep during movie night with her head on my shoulder. It was her calling me dad. I placed the wooden doll on the shelf in the living room, right next to her crayon drawings and the photo from her first soccer game. Later that night, after she'd gone to bed, I checked on her. She was curled under the blankets, clutching that stuffed penguin from the state fair. Her breathing was steady, peaceful. I pulled the blanket up to her shoulders. "Good night, kiddo," I whispered. She mumbled something in her sleep that sounded like "love you, Dad." I closed the door softly and went downstairs. Tokyo felt like someone else's life now. The hurt, the rage, the months of silence, they were scars, but they'd healed. Marcy had tried to erase me from Lily's story. Instead, Lily chose to rewrite me into every chapter, and that was the only revenge I ever needed. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.